And what I love about Coco is that she can't say anything, but these women have come after her, whether it's been Sabalenka, Iga, Rybakina. They've made comments, even when Coco was actually number 3 in the world, they talked about them being the big 3. So every turn she has to face not just her opponent, but the ridicule from her colleagues who should be supportive. And listen, you're playing against an American who's our top American. Have some respect, one, and lose with class.
Tennis drama just reached a whole new level. Belinda Bencic made some wild accusations against Coco Gauff after the China Open. And let's just say Lisa Leslie wasn't having any of it. The basketball legend stepped into the tennis world and delivered a reality check that nobody saw coming. What happens when champions from different sports collide over one controversial match? This story has layers you won't believe. Before we get into this mess, drop a comment below. Do you think athletes from other sports should defend tennis players when controversy strikes? Let me know your thoughts.
Yeah, but when I'm going to the line, ready to serve, they don't need to cheer. No one's talking to you. She's talking to me, okay? I haven't started. Your team is chanting. I'm too old for these mind games, okay?
So here's the tea. Belinda Bencic, the Swiss tennis player who clearly has some free time on her hands, decided to jump on social media and throw some serious shade at Coco Gauff.
Coco Gauff does it the hard way once again. Taken to 3 for the second match running, but she shows her champion-like mentality again. The defense of her Beijing title rolls on.
According to Bencic, Coco's victory at the China Open wasn't exactly legitimate. She hinted that there were some questionable line calls, some convenient moments, and basically implied that Coco's win had an asterisk next to it. You know, the classic sore loser playbook. Instead of congratulating the winner or even staying silent like a professional, Bencic chose chaos. And honestly, that was her first mistake.
I'm too old for these mind games, okay?
Forget Cardi and Nikki. Coco and Belinda brought plenty of drama for their Beijing round of 16 match. It all started at 2-3 in the second set when Coco hit a winner and then Belinda complained to the chair umpire about Coco's team cheering her on before she went to serve, which there's really nothing wrong with at all, by the way. That's kind of normal. Coco responded, "There's nobody in the stadium. It's been so respectful. I treat your team with respect. We treat each other with respect. The ball was a drop shot winner." Belinda then said, "They can cheer after the point. Every time I step on the line, they start to cheer. That's my problem." The altercation clearly routed Coco, who then lost the next 2 games. But Belinda might have made a mistake ranting about the situation to the umpire and the changeover at 4-3. Coco said some things in response that we really couldn't hear, but we heard Belinda loud and clear.
But when I'm going to the line, ready to serve, they don't need to cheer. No one's talking to you. She's talking to me, okay? I haven't started. Your team is chanting. I'm too old for these mind games, okay?
Now, Coco Gauff has been dealing with this nonsense for years. Every time she wins a major tournament, someone crawls out of the woodwork to diminish her achievement. It's like there's a script these players follow. First, they lose. Then, instead of acknowledging that they got outplayed, they find a reason why it wasn't really a loss. Maybe they weren't feeling well. Maybe the crowd was too loud. Maybe the opponent got lucky. It's never about the fact that Coco showed up, brought her A game, and simply played better tennis. That would require accountability, and apparently that's in short supply these days.
And when I look at Coco, I had a chance, obviously, to go to Roland Garros. I was at the French Open. She worked so hard every single match to get to the finals. And I just love the fact that she has not only the will to win, the fight to win.
But here's where it gets interesting. Lisa Leslie, the WNBA legend and basketball icon, saw what was happening and decided she wasn't going to let this slide. And when Lisa Leslie speaks, people listen. This woman is a 3-time WNBA MVP, a 4-time Olympic gold medalist, and someone who knows a thing or two about competing at the highest level. She's seen real pressure, she's experienced real competition, and she absolutely recognizes real talent when she sees it. So when she came to Coco's defense, It wasn't just some random celebrity jumping into the conversation for attention. This was a champion defending another champion. Lisa basically said what we were all thinking. She pointed out that Coco has been working incredibly hard, showing up for every match, and handling herself with grace and class that honestly puts a lot of her competitors to shame. Lisa mentioned how she watched Coco fight through every single round at the French Open, how she earned her way to the finals through pure skill and determination. And then Lisa dropped the real truth bomb. Coco takes the high road no matter what, even when other players refuse to show her the same respect.
And what I love about Coco is that she can't say anything, but these women have come after her, whether it's been Sabalenka, Iga, Rybakina. They've made comments, even when Coco was actually number 3 in the world, they talked about them being the big 3. So every turn she has to face not just her opponent, but the ridicule from her colleagues who should be supportive. And listen, you're playing against an American who's our top American. Have some respect, one, and lose with class.
And that's the part that really gets under my skin. The disrespect toward Coco Gauff has been consistent and relentless. It's not just Bencic. Remember Aryna Sabalenka? After losing to Coco, she couldn't just accept the loss. No, she had to go on record saying that Coco didn't actually beat her, that she lost because of her own errors. As if Coco had nothing to do with forcing those errors. As if creating opportunities and capitalizing on your opponent's mistakes isn't literally the entire point of competitive tennis. Sabalenka's comments were dripping with bitterness, and Lisa Leslie called that out too. She said, "When you mess with the bull, you get the horns." And honestly, perfect analogy. Then there's Iga Swiatek, another player who couldn't resist taking shots at Coco. Even when Coco was ranked number 3 in the world, there were players talking about the big 3 of women's tennis, conveniently excluding Coco from that conversation. It's like they created their own little club and decided that Coco wasn't allowed in, despite her ranking, despite her accomplishments, despite everything she'd proven on the court. And let's not forget Elena Rybakina, who also made dismissive comments about Coco's game. It's like there's this unspoken agreement among certain players that they're going to undermine Coco at every opportunity. Lisa Leslie pointed out something crucial. Every time Coco steps on the court, she's not just facing her opponent. She's facing the ridicule and criticism from colleagues who should be supportive. These are supposed to be professional athletes who understand the grind, who know what it takes to compete at the highest level. But instead of showing respect, they're throwing shade. And for what? Because Coco's young and successful? Because she's American? Because she carries herself with confidence? Whatever the reason, it's pathetic. Here's the thing about tennis that people seem to forget. You all lace up on the same day. Championship Day doesn't care about your stats from last week. It doesn't care if you think you're supposed to win. You show up and you play your best. If you don't bring your A game, that's on you. Coco shows up prepared every single time. She studies her opponents. She works on her weaknesses. She stays focused. And when she wins because she earned it. Not because of some conspiracy, not because of lucky line calls, but because she played better tennis that day. Sabalenka's excuse that she didn't play her best is particularly rich. Okay, cool. You didn't play your best. You know whose fault that is? Yours. Not Coco's. Coco showed up ready to compete. She handled the pressure. She executed her game plan. That's what champions do. Making excuses and trying to diminish someone else's victory is what people who can't handle losing do. And Lisa Leslie recognized that immediately. She said Sabalenka was wrong for taking the low road and trying to criticize what Coco accomplished. Facts only. The China Open situation with Bencic is just the latest example of this pattern. Bencic lost. She didn't like losing. And instead of being professional about it, she decided to throw around cheating accusations. Because apparently, when you can't beat someone fair and square, the next best thing is to question their integrity. It's a coward's move. And Lisa Leslie wasn't about to let that stand. She made it clear that Coco carries herself with class and grace, and that Americans stand behind her. That last part is important because it sends a message. You don't get to tear down American athletes without pushback. Lisa's defense of Coco also highlighted something we don't talk about enough in sports: the double standard. When male tennis players dominate, they're celebrated as GOATs. When they win through mental toughness and forcing errors, it's called strategy. But when Coco does the same thing, suddenly it's luck. Suddenly, there are questions. Suddenly, people need to analyze whether she really deserved it. The hypocrisy is exhausting. And let's be real about what's happening here. Coco Gauff is 20 years old, and she's already accomplished more than most tennis players will in their entire careers. She's a Grand Slam champion. She's been ranked in the top 3 in the world. She's beaten the best players on the planet. And she's done it all while dealing with constant criticism, constant scrutiny, and constant attempts to undermine her achievements. The mental fortitude that requires is incredible. Most people would crumble under that pressure. Coco? She just keeps winning. What Lisa Leslie did by speaking out is bigger than just this one incident. She set a precedent. She showed that champions from other sports are watching, and they're not going to stay silent when they see injustice. She used her platform and her credibility to defend someone who's been dealing with unfair treatment. That's leadership. That's using your voice for something that matters. And it sends a message to every other player who wants to take shots at Coco. There will be consequences. Not legal consequences, but social ones. Public opinion matters. And when legends like Lisa Leslie call you out, people listen. The irony of all this is that players like Bencic, Sabalenka, Swiatek, and Rybakina are actually helping Coco's legacy. Every time they make an excuse, every time they diminish her wins, they're just proving that beating them means something. If Coco was irrelevant, they wouldn't bother commenting. The fact that they feel the need to explain away their losses shows that Coco is in their heads. She's living rent-free in their minds, and they can't stand it. So they lash out. They make accusations. They try to rewrite the narrative. But the scoreboard doesn't lie. The rankings don't lie. And history won't remember their excuses. History will remember who won. Lisa Leslie ended her defense of Coco with a warning. And it was perfect. Be careful what you say because we are coming back after you. You don't get a chance to take down our hero. That's the energy we need. That's the kind of protective support that athletes deserve when they're being attacked unfairly. Coco is representing not just herself, but American tennis. She's carrying that flag with pride and excellence, and Americans aren't going to sit back and let international players tear her down with baseless accusations. The Bencic situation is particularly frustrating because cheating accusations are serious. You can't just throw that word around casually. When you accuse someone of cheating, you're attacking their character, their integrity, their entire career. You better have receipts. You better have proof. And guess what Bencic had? Nothing. Just salt. Just bitterness. Just an inability to accept that she lost to a better player on that particular day. It's weak. It's unprofessional. And it's exactly why Lisa Leslie felt compelled to step in and shut it down. Moving forward, this whole situation is going to be remembered as a turning point. Not because of Bencic's accusations, but because of Lisa Leslie's response. She showed that athletes have each other's backs across sports. She showed that legends recognize legends. She showed that speaking up matters. And she showed Coco Gauff that even when competitors try to tear her down, there are people who see her value, her talent, and her character. That support matters more than any bitter comment from a sore loser ever could. So there you have it. Lisa Leslie stepped up and delivered the reality check that Belinda Bencic desperately needed. Coco Gauff continues to win both on and off the court, while her critics continue to make excuses. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button and subscribe for more sports drama and real talk. What's your take on this whole situation? Comment below.